Hello, everybody. Welcome to Disabilities Redefined with Dr. Wagner. We, as you can see, are back in the editing room, which means we are back in the studio, which means we're back to bringing you personal questions with Dr. T. Super excited about introducing Jessica Hayon from the New York City Marathon. She is amazing.
I'm Jessica Hayon, and I'm here to share with you some of my journey. So at the age of 13 is when I first started using a wheelchair. I started developing weakness when I was 5 or 6 years old, and it really just progressed to the point that I wasn't able to live the life that I wanted to. So the best thing for me was to be in a wheelchair so I can continue to do the things that I wanted to do, and I can go to school and I could still socialize. And be with other people and be with friends and not have to be separated out. I explored the athletic part of my life. When I was around in my mid-20s, I went on a trip that was specifically designed for people with disabilities, and it was also designed to have a very physical activities to kind of show me what I can do and show all the participants what they can do. And I pushed off going on this trip for several years just because I was hesitant. I'm like, I can't do this. And then I eventually went on this trip and my world was just open. So when I got back to New York, I was really excited. And it's not like if a regular able-bodied person can just go online and find something real quick. It takes a lot of digging, but I was able to find a lot of great organizations, and I think the first one I found and my favorite currently is Achilles, and that's how I started hand cycling. And once I did the marathon, it was really special the first time I did it, because just being out there in the middle of the road and being capable of something that people don't think you are capable of. It's very easy when you're in a wheelchair to be marginalized and for people to think that you're helpless, and that's really not the case. So fashion to me has always been something that I loved. I mean, ever since I was in high school, I learned to sew. It's interesting, so a sewing machine, obviously you have to use, there's a foot pedal, so my attitude is if I want to do something, I'll figure it out. So I learned to sew and I used my elbow to use as the foot pedal. I picked up knitting, picked up all that, and then I went, like I said before, I went to FIT, and fashion has just been something that's always interesting to me. And now that adaptive fashion is something that's really making its way into the industry, that's something that I find really interesting and I think is very important and valid. There are a lot of people with disabilities, and clothing can be made a lot easier for people than the traditional way we wear clothes right now. So I got involved in this body sculpture artwork when I started working with this dance company called Heidi Lasky, and she has this program, it's called On Display, and it's about putting yourself on display, people of all abilities, and showcasing you and yourself and being comfortable in your body. So what you do is you're wearing all white and you're posing for 1-2 hours at a time, and you're just there for people to view you and to see who you are. And it's actually a very freeing experience as well, to just be there and to just exist, in space for people to see you. I think the most important thing is to always just try, get out there and try. Don't ever be discouraged, or even just don't look at something and be like, I can't do it. You never know till you try. So for example, I never did basketball because I'm sitting down. There's no way I could reach the hoop. How's that even possible? I don't understand. So just having a mentality like that will automatically limit you. So just trying. And then I tried it and I'm like, oh, I did it, So I think before you try anything, it looks difficult, especially if you're watching the Paralympics, it looks very strenuous and it's oh, I can't do that. But no, just try, always try, if there's a will, there's a way. Identity is a really interesting topic, and I think coming from the point of I understand someone trying to talk about someone else's situation, I think that a person will only ever be able to understand until a certain extent, because you haven't had that exact lived experience. So I think the understanding is just something that you say to kind of meet halfway, to kind of understand where the person's coming from. And identity is really all about yourself and who you are and how you identify yourself. And it's interesting because that's something I've struggled with. So one, trying to fit into the completely able-bodied world, and that's who I acted like I was for my whole life up until mid-20s, because, you know, I went from high school I went to college, then I went straight to working in a corporate world where I didn't see anyone else with visible disabilities. And then it's interesting because I started going mid-20s to a rec center for people with disabilities. And when I was there, I also felt like I didn't fully identify. So then I felt stuck in a way, because I'm like, oh, I thought this was going to solve all my problems and fix my identity, but it actually didn't. So it was kind of me trying to figure out who I was to myself. It didn't really matter what other people thought my identity was. Identity is something that's personal, and it was more so for me, because I felt, oh, I didn't fit into the able-bodied world, and now I'm in the disabled world, and I don't feel like I completely fit either. So now it's something I need to figure out. And that's why getting involved in all sports and activities helped me further figure out who I was and the importance I meant to me in my identity.
We're done.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. That was great.
Thank you.